Antron Brown, the last 6 races, especially the last 3. Take a look at this. 4 race wins. Look at that round record, 20-2. I'll tell you what, if peaking is what the countdown is all about, then he's got it figured out.
But can he sustain it? That's going to be the key with 5 events to go.
Exactly. And that is the question. You know, you think if you peak right at the start, then are the statistics going to work against you after that? Well, while we're talking top fuel in the points, there they are. Look at that, with Spencer just back by 16. Dell back by, I mean, look at the top 5 of that group.
Within 3 rounds of racing. That's pretty impressive.
Now, as we wait for Antron Brown and Sean Langdon to complete their burnouts and back up, we're talking with Texas Motorsports owner Billy Meyer in the booth. And Billy, we talked a little bit ago about, you know, bringing out the semi-trucks, always being a kind of an innovator. And, well, 26 years ago, you built this place, and we credited you for the all-concrete facility. You use scientific terms and building terms that went way over my head when it comes to your concrete here. But when you look back on this facility, is there anything you would have done differently 25-plus years ago?
Well, I mean, when I was trying to build, you know, the next facility in Grand Prairie when we lost the sales tax election in 2000, you know, we were going to do some things different. And it was going to be all concrete and stuff, but we were going to put water underneath the track. We were going to, you know, cool it and make it
like
where where we were going to actually be able to run water on it. Kind of, I mean, the only other sport that does anything in a similar sense would be the Masters at Augusta, where they can actually heat and cool the greens, and they can suck the water out. You know, they can control their own destiny at all times.
Did you know that, Gary?
And that's what we were going to try to do, you know, be able to cool or heat the track, you know, from underneath.
Well, that would have been the whole length of the track?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Not the shutoff area.
Yeah, we don't, yeah, absolutely not.
Stat guy.
Of course, Antron, 31 wins, 3 in a row. His first one came here in 1999 racing a Pro Stock motorcycle. Does anybody remember that he won on 4 red lights that day? Angel fouled in the final. Everybody went red that day.
Oh, yeah, that was the day of the red Pro Stock motorcycle.
Wow, look at that.
Wow, I'll tell you what, Antron tried to keep in it there. Langdon runs a 470. It's a 478 for Antron. And while it was fun to watch, it didn't do anything for either one of those. Antron Brown, at this moment, is not in the top 12.
And I mentioned that was on Troy Vincent's bike. Troy Vincent of the National Football League was a cornerback, a defensive back for the Philadelphia Eagles, still works with the NFL. And, hey, Troy, if you're listening tonight, man, we miss you.
Hey, Jamie, what happened with Terry McMillan?
Terry McMillan's going to watch the replay. Terry, tell us, what were you feeling here?
The car was going left really good, left hard, and it just started drifting over to my right. And as we've been oiling the track a little bit too much this year, so I felt it go. I just got out of it. Looked like it dropped the hole right at the end there, but nevertheless, it was a good effort by the team, and we got to come back tomorrow with our A game and get it going. But we had a good pass going. It just started moving more to the right, and you know what? We got to fix that. It just dropped the hole out there, and as you see in there at the end, and you know, it's something we got to work on.
What's your confidence level as you go into tomorrow?
Oh, you know what? We're in great shape. I mean, I'm surrounded by great people, and you know, I'll tell you what, NHRA does a great job of prepping the track, and my team does a great job preparing the car, and it's up to me to get the Emily Oil University of Northwestern Ohio Motor State car down the track. And that time just started to make a move, and I didn't want to oil the track. Been yelled at for that, not by NHRA, but by my crew. So when it got bad, I just got out of it, and to save the parts, we'll do this tomorrow.
All right, good luck. Thank you.
Well, there's Tony Schumacher still looking for that first win of the year. 0-6 in finals this year. And Spencer Massey.
You know, I was going back to Terry McMillan. I like that strategy. You know, step off and save the parts. You know he's out of oil down penalties. The run would have got thrown out anyway. And I can tell you, Billy, you never did drive a dragster, did you?
No, actually, somebody's asked me a little while ago if I ever drove a dragster, and I've sat in one. I actually sat in Darrell Gwynn's car at Indy in like 1989. And that's the only dragster I've ever seen in my life. And he was so tall from the waist up, I couldn't even see with a dash. And I thought I was like I was a kid in a crib. But I never ever even thought about it.
I can tell you when we drove funny cars, we didn't have side windows. You could hear everything. You hear the motor, you hear a cylinder go out, you hear what the engine, you hear a layover. When I got into a dragster, it was really hard with the engine behind you. I could not feel a cylinder go out at the hit of the throttle. The only way I could tell at the hit of the throttle was through deduction. Basically, if all weekend it's picking the front end up and it's running good and carrying it out there, and then all of a sudden you hit the gas, the front end's down, and makes a left or right turn, you go, okay, must have a cylinder out. Now down track, like where Terry was, you could feel it, but it was a whole different style of trying to feel the car of a funny car to a top field dragster.
Yeah, just something I never even had a desire to even drive.
Because Mike using big words like deduction.
Oh, 388 for Tony Schumacher. Yeah, you can be happy about that. The Army car is now number one. Massey moved up one position, and he is now fifth. You guys race funny cars against one another 8 times. Split it 4 and 4. I think you guys have to have another run.
Rental cars right now.
Let's go.
In reverse.
I mean, it's your track, man. You can say it.
I'll do reverse.
Billy, let me ask you, as a promoter and as a former driver, what do you think about 4-wide racing?
You know, I'm kind of a traditionalist guy. Yeah. I actually did race 4-wide in 72 or 3 at Budds Creek, Maryland, in a funny car. But, you know, back then it was men are men and boys are boys. We didn't have guard walls. And you know, on the outside or the inside, you know, and they ran 4-wide at Budds Creek, Maryland back in the day. And I think Raymond Beadle ran there before with me, and Pat Foster and some guys I remember being there. But no, I mean, I'm a quarter-mile guy, not a 1,000-foot guy, and I'm a 2-lane guy.
Gotcha.
Hey, Jamie, Antron Brown is not in the top 12.
No, and Antron, you just watched your teammate Tony Schumacher go number 1. You have not qualified yet. Are you going to be able to sleep tonight?
Hey, I mean, this is part of drag racing. I mean, we got 2 runs tomorrow. Ain't no need to getting scared or nothing. Sunday's going to be a whole new day. So we just got to go out here. We got to keep digging deep. And the race is decided on Sunday, not on Friday and Saturday. Just got to get in the show. I've been 13th before, so it don't make a difference where you're at, but we got to get in. And tomorrow we'll work hard on that, and we'll see where we end up at on Sunday.
With the points as close as they are in the top 5, how important is it to find something, though, as you head into the rounds?
Oh, it's very important. I mean, trust me, on 3 points on qualifying each round, 3 points, that makes a big deal right now. So we missed out on 2 opportunities. But the thing about it is you just got to stay poised. You can't let it beat you up, beat you down. This sport's a lot about being a hero one day and a zero the next day. It's drag racing. We have no second laps, second chances. So we just got to go back to work. And tomorrow's going to be a tougher day, but we can get in the show, make a good run. And then Sunday, that's where we're going to be at, because Sunday's going to be the exact same condition as it is tomorrow. So tomorrow's really going to show where everybody's at.
Antron Brown still feeling confident.
David Grubnick on the line in the countdown, but at 10. Not a lot of hope there. Hot Rod Fuller ran a career best 381, 324 miles an hour in the first round at Charlotte. And he took down Terry McMillan on the way and then met up with Tony Schumacher in round 2.
Would you have Sunday in your dialogue on Friday in this position like Antron just did?
Well, yeah, I think he has to, because he's not in, you know, he hasn't made a good run, not in the show right now. And basically, if he goes out tomorrow and he ends up qualifying 9th or 10th, but yet he's in the top 2 or 3 in sessions because it is so hot, then he definitely has a good shot at Sunday. Like he said, the main thing is he's got to get in the show, though.
Fuller stepped it up 3 positions. Back to Jamie.
Tony Schumacher going number 1. You look like you've hurt yourself, though. What's going on?
We had a Goodyear.com, support your troops, / something or other. It was just a blast, man. We were yesterday. They had the 3, myself, Del Worsham, Robert Height against some of the NASCAR guys. And, you know, it's all for the soldiers and their families. What was it? Goodyear.com / support our troops. And it was just, you go on there and it was a charity deal, but what an awesome event. I thought I was going to show up and just fake it, kind of limp on through, but man, I'm hurting, dude. I'm 41. Except if you're guys I race against, I feel fine, man. It doesn't even affect me. But, you know, the fact is my body's a little bit sore. I have a very hard time coming out and pretending to try. It was game on. It's an obstacle course, and you had to get through it. And I don't like to lose, man. And you know, not only did we have to do it once, but the second time really hurt. That was great, though, for the Army car. All the pain went away. You get out and they say 88 in Dallas. The sun's out and it's hot. One of those situations where you have to run good tonight. It's going to be hot tomorrow, and we have to learn how to race tomorrow, but you want to be in a good seat. You want to be in that number 1 spot.
Now, we do have some video of that we're going to show during the qualifying show tomorrow. But are you saying that you, the Sarge, got beat up in boot camp?
No, I felt fine. I got beat up after. When I stopped, you know what? The key to an obstacle course, or the key to a race, or the key to anything, is when you are done, you should be physically and mentally exhausted. There should be nothing left to give. And I had nothing. I had oxygen, and it saved me because I was hurting. Good Powerade, man. I had to get those electrolytes back. I felt like a champ, but for a few minutes there, I didn't have much more to give. If I had to run one more foot, I think I'd have died.
Well, we'll see it all tomorrow. Thanks, Tony.
Oh, wait a minute. I cannot let this go with that trainee out there. First of all, I want to see those hands up above your head. My senior drill instructor, Sergeant Walia, Master Sergeant Walia, we'd do 300 of those, only he'd stop at about the 150th on the count, and he'd start singing, and when he'd come back after doing maybe another 100 singing, then he'd go 151. So we end up doing like 500 side straddle hops.
Where's the push-ups? Where's the push-ups?
Oh, push-ups airborne style, baby. Come on.
Yeah,
you got to get Tony into the regiment.
I don't think you were 41 when you did those.
No, I was. Hey.
There you go.
Oh, and she's so much better.
Never mind. I don't
A lot
want to do
better
push-ups.
form. She definitely has better form. Her push-ups aren't bad either.
We're not. I got him last week for his jump on the 34-foot tower. Now I'll get him in shape. Larry Dixon and Del Worsham. Dixon is 6. Dell's trying to get in.
Oh, look at this.
Not any longer.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
386 moves Dell up to number 1.
Hello.
And Larry Dixon on that 388 is now 3rd. Tony Schumacher splits the two of them. Let's go to Jamie.
A lot of excitement down here at the top end. What can you tell us about that last run?
Well, it put a cylinder out down track. So, you know, we're searching. You know, we have to use some of these qualifying sessions to search, look for the performance that, you know, that we need, help us propel ourselves higher into the points. So, you know, sometimes you have to take 2 steps back to make 3 forwards.
All right, let's see if we can get Doug Coletta before he runs out of here. I'm not sure we're going to be able to grab him. All right. Yep.
Rubnik sits there in 8th, Jamie, and Doug Coletta at 5th right now. If you get him, fine. If you don't, this is relaxed NHRA Friday nights.
You know, Schumacher's talking about being 41 and doing that little obstacle course. I'm 57. I caddied for my son at a nationwide golf tournament 2 weeks ago. You carry an 80-pound bag for 5 days. Let me tell you what, it makes these obstacle courses look weak. It was pretty bizarre.
But if he did the obstacle course twice, I remember in infantry AIT, I had a guy, we were going to run it the second time alongside me with his first pair going. He runs side by side. He climbed that 8-foot wall or whatever the height is on it, and if we get to the top, he looks over at me and says, "I'm not doing this again," and falls off on his head, knocks himself out. That's how much you want to resist that from time to time. Well, in the session right now, these are the little points we're talking about. 3, 2, and 1. Worsham's got 3 at the moment. Schumacher 2. Dixon has 1.
Billy, you mentioned your son in the nationwide here. It's been a number of years because, unfortunately, we're all getting older. But I remember being in your house down in Waco, having a great place where your son trained. It was a gigantic room on a 2nd story. You could kick open about a barn door width door and just hit balls out into the open prairie. Do you still have that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't use it much anymore, but it's got 9 holes upstairs for putting, and it's got all the cameras and a driving range in the back. And yeah, it's a good time. But when you live where we live, there's not many other places to do that.
These top fuel points, by the way, are current for right now.
Now, who had to go out and pick up those balls?
Not me.
Somebody else to go shag your balls. That's good. Troy Buff, Brandon Bernstein, both Texans. Buff was 6th. He doesn't get down the track. Brandon does. 388. That moves him up 9 positions and up into 3rd.